You're listening to the Passionate Proof Podcast, where we bring you empowering episodes on manifestation, mindset, and so much more to discover, find, or fuel your passion. I'm your host, Ellie Hendricks, and my mission is to enable you to be the proof to your passion and make it your paycheck. Welcome, Shorina, to the Passionate Proof Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited too.
Love it. All right. So I cannot wait to get into all the questions with you. But before we do, and chatting about your businesses, Absolute Boss Babe, I would like to start off by asking you, as this is the Passionate Proof Podcast, what is your passion in life or business?
Yeah, so it's probably the same for both, which I think is like everyone's goal, isn't it? So I just really want to help people. Like I want to empower them in whatever way I can, whether that's like through my work or like raising really nice children, or even like donating. Like I donated blood the other day. I try to like donate money when I can, but I just really want to empower people to live lives that are really aligned to what they want to be doing, and help them live happier and like more joyful lives with lots and lots of self-love. So
Yeah, that is so beautiful and such a beautiful way to approach life and also business as well. So I love that. And for the listeners who may not know who you are, can you just give us a little snapshot to the life of Shorina?
Yeah, so I'm Shorina. I'm from Newcastle. Firstly, I'm a mum to two little boys. I have a 9-month-old baby. His name is Wyatt, and then I have a 3.5-year-old boy as well, Ezra. So they definitely keep me on my toes. I also have 2 businesses. So I have an e-commerce business called Bras by S, which is a lingerie brand, and then I also am a counsellor and coach. And that business is Mindful Soul Collective. So that's kind of how I keep myself busy amongst all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the process in creating Bras by S?
Yeah, so Bras by S was first by a couple of years. What happened was I was actually in a car accident. So I was working and I was selling caravans, and I was making quite good money from that. And then I was in a car accident and had a back injury. So I was actually put on bed rest for 6 months. And I lost my job because of that. And everything's fine now. And, it's just something that like I live with now, which is all good. That caused me to lose my job, and then I really struggled to find work because I was only able to like build up my hours as my back was getting used to working and all that sort of stuff. So amongst all of that, I decided to just start my business, which is something I kind of always wanted to do. My mum has her own business, so I kind of watched her work from home with her kids and all that sort of stuff. So I started Bras by S. It was 5 years ago now, and I just leaned on her a lot, and I kind of winged it, to be honest. I just was like doing this and then doing that, and I was like, Mum, what do I do now? So I just really lent on my mum. But when I was starting that, and even when I was starting Mindful Soul Collective, I was kind of like, what do I want to put out into the world? Like, what impact do I want to have? Like, how do I want to make people feel? And then I kind of just built off of that for both businesses.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. And what was, I guess, the original reason why you started Bras by S? Was it something that you've always wanted to do, like in lingerie in particular, or it just was like an opportunity you thought you'd just jump onto?
So I always wanted to have my own business. I didn't quite know what it was, but I knew that I wanted to help people, and in particular like women, find their self-love again, and find themselves, and just feel really confident in their bodies. So that's how I kind of came up with the lingerie idea, because I know that when a like woman wears lingerie, She feels so confident. She's so empowered. Like she thinks she's the hottest thing in the world because she is. So that's kind of where that came from. And when I actually first started, I really focused on plus size. So now I stock sizes 6 to 30. But when I first started, I really focused on those bigger sizes because there wasn't much out there. So I think it's because, those women that are in those sizes felt like, why can't they be sexy? Like, why can't they feel confident and feel like the hottest thing in the world, like I was just saying. So that's why I really wanted to focus on those larger sizes when I started. And then from then it's just like evolved. And yeah, now I stock sizes 6 to 30.
That's amazing. And was there anyone, I guess, in that same area doing lingerie for plus sizes, or you really saw a gap in the market and that's why you started in just those particular sizes first?
So when I first started, I didn't really know anybody else, but I've actually never been plus size. So it's also kind of not my, I wouldn't know because I didn't need to shop for the larger sizes. But then once I got into that market, I seen that there were a few options, but they're always a lot more expensive. So that was like a big thing for me as well, was I wanted to offer sizing for like all women, or like as many women as I possibly could, but I didn't want people to have to pay $300 for one set. Like a lot of plus size brands, you do need to pay that much. So that was like another big thing too, that as I started getting into it, like I said, I kind of winged it at the beginning. And then once I started getting into it, I found like the competitors and then found that they were really expensive. So that was a big thing for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the process of, I guess, like manufacturing and all of that sort of stuff, did that all come with, like, you researched the different companies and how to, I guess, get it? Did you used to originally do it out of your house and then you got like a warehouse, or do you sort of have it just distributed in the world? Or
so I sell worldwide. Did start originally doing all my own designs, like hand sewing them, and then I found that was just too time consuming, and that's when I started to get it made instead, because I just didn't have the time anymore. And it was perfect at the beginning because like I was only able to sit up for a couple of hours at a time with my back, so it was perfect. But it kind of blew up a lot quicker than I had expected, which is amazing. But yeah, I kind of had to outsource that part of it all, which I'm really happy with. That's kind of another thing I winged. Like I had orders with some people, and then you check the quality and all that, practical sort of stuff. I've started with a lot of manufacturers that I've now not worked with because their quality just wasn't good enough for me. But yeah, that's just some of the things that, kind of go through, I guess, when you're in that line.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really all about testing and trialing and all of that before you actually do start selling it. And how long was that process before you did that? Was it a couple of months or longer just to test?
So it was probably when I first started, I was doing it myself. So that it's probably like a 4-week process, to be honest, because I kind of knew what I wanted things to look like. And so yeah, at the very beginning it was probably 4 weeks, but when I decided that I wasn't able to do it myself anymore because I didn't have the capacity, that was probably a couple months. But because I was already doing it, I kind of just weaned myself off of it to make sense. So there probably would have been no gap for my customers. I probably wouldn't have even really noticed, but my stock changed a bit when I stopped making it as well, because I started getting different designs and more options and that sort of thing.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. And such a journey as well, going through all of that, doing yourself and then actually scaling and getting a company to start manufacturing and doing it as well. So that's amazing. And do you have a team working under you as well?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So I still physically pack the orders myself, but I have people that help with social media and the uploading and photos and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But all the admin I get help with, but the physical packing. So if you order from me, I will be the one physically wrapping it up in the tissue paper and sending it off. Sometimes my partner takes to the post office for me.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's such a
Yeah.
amazing way to do it, because you're able to, I guess, give that real personal touch to them as well, like knowing that the actual owner packed it for me. Like that's just such a beautiful thing. And I love that, like having the actual creator of the brand packing the order and making it really, really special. So that's amazing. And will you eventually like give that role to someone else if it was to scale even further, or do you reckon like that will be all, you're always going to be packing them?
No. So hopefully the goal is to be able to outsource that too. And I will be just like overseeing, giving approval for marketing ideas and like still doing the stock and that sort of thing. But I would love to be able to outsource that hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been going for 5 years as well. Like that's a crazy long time to be in business. And how were you affected at all, like during COVID, or was that not really?
Not really, thankfully. I think because I'm entirely online, like I didn't have all of the overheads that a lot of other businesses had. There was like a few months where it kind of went down for a little bit, but then I had a few months that were really, really like insanely busy compared to usual. And then like it would dip. So it was just like up and down a lot, but overall, like it all balanced out and was pretty normal, thankfully.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And so amazing to see that it went through such uncertain times as well. And I guess now moving to Mindful Soul Collective, how did that all come about? Did you like start that through Bras by Yes, or was it something that you've always done previously?
No, so that's it's funny because they're two completely different businesses. Like there's a lingerie business and then like a counseling business. So they seem very different, but they do tie in together because like at the beginning, how I was saying that I just want people to feel better. Like I just want people to feel like that self-love and to feel empowered. And like through both my business, I do that. So with Mindful Soul Collective in high school, I actually lived alone at 14 years old, and then lived alone all through high school up until I had like a partner, and I lived with my partner. So in high school, it was like a pretty hard time for me, like working full time and trying to, finish school and all that sort of stuff. And I really just, now that I can look back and reflect, I really just needed somebody that I could talk to, like, and I didn't have anyone. There was like no counselors or anything like that. So throughout high school, I always knew that I wanted to be able to help somebody else. I didn't really understand, like didn't really know how I was going to do that, but I knew that I wanted to help someone else get through those really hard times that I was going through at that time. And then after the car accident, like there was a lot that obviously I went through. Like I was on bed rest for 6 months, like I lost friends, I lost my job, like I went into a really, really dark place. And then one day I kind of just woke up and I was like, I've just had enough. Like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I'm so sick of being the victim. Like, I'm done with it. And I was just kind of in my mind, I was like, okay, what's the next step? Like, what is there to do next? I had actually already started my counseling diploma just before the accident. So I think I was about halfway through my counseling like certification. So I finished that. And then I just knew that it was time to kind of go out. And at the time, I actually had my first baby. So I wasn't quite ready to start seeing clients yet. So I started Mindful Soul Collective as a passion project. And I was kind of just like writing, what I was going through in quotes and like blogging and, all those sorts of things on social media. And that really blew up. So that within 12 months, I think I got to about 15,000 followers. And, I was getting messages from so many people saying that like this post that I posted, they related to so much. And, like just something that I just wrote from my heart and something that was just so, so natural to me was making this impact on strangers like all around the world. So I knew that like I was doing the right thing. And then I started making like digital products. Like I've got some ebooks and things like that online too, amongst like when my son was sleeping, like having a nap, I'd like jump on the computer for 15 minutes and do what I could, and juggling the whole mum thing with creating and building a business. But
Yeah.
now I'm doing like one-on-one sessions, so that's really, really exciting. And I'm loving that. Like it just feels like it's filling my soul so much. So yeah.
Oh, that is so beautiful, and such an amazing way to like share your, I guess, experience from when you were so young and didn't have anyone there, where compared to now, like actually being there for someone who needs a bit of support or needs a little bit of, I guess, like guidance in a way that you can provide them. So I think that's always so amazing that you can use something that you never had to help someone and improve in their life. So that's amazing. And I really loved your journey from going out of high school. It's actually like fascinating, like knowing everyone's different story. And yeah, I mean, now do you, with your ebooks, do you have a couple that you've created over the years, or?
Yes, I've got one ebook which is like just information, and then I've got another one which is like a little bit, I call it a playbook, but it's kind of like a workbook. I just didn't want to use the word work because it's not work, like it's fun. Yeah. So it's got like exercises and journal prompts and like little worksheets and quotes and things throughout. So that's, I think from memory, it's about 60 pages long. And that's the one that I mostly sell a lot of. And then I've got all sorts of bundles like with templates. So like a daily planner and like a journaling planner and things like that too. So I think in total, there's probably about like 11 or 12 different ones available at the moment. But I'm hoping this year to do a few more. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And they've obviously all the ones you've incorporated and created along the way. How did you, I guess, promote them or advertise them to people? Because are some free and then some you've actually charged for people to purchase.
So all the ones I just mentioned are available to purchase, and they're available, like they're only like $5 up until I think the 60-page one's only $20. So I wanted to keep them like as reasonably priced as possible because I feel like these sorts of things should be available to like as many people as possible. And then I have one for free that anyone can go download on my website, and I think that's about 40 pages too, and it's like a little mini course. So it's got the worksheets and things, different ones to the paid one, but it's got worksheets and journal prompts and those sorts of things in it as well. But I pretty much just promote them on my social media. I have an email list that I email roughly once a month, and I always put the links to those at the bottom of the email as well.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, that's so awesome. And I guess going back to scheduling your day for these two businesses and having a family and kids, how do you do it? Like, do you set certain days per business, or is it sort of a bit of both? How do you sort of structure your days?
So to be honest, it's like a work in progress.
Yeah.
So I'm still figuring out what's going to work best for me. I found that time blocking has really been helpful. So like I have my calendar and literally I plan the week out. So on Monday, I sit down for about an hour and I plan my whole week. So my boys go to daycare Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So they're my work days. So I drop them off at 7:00 and then I go to the gym. I get home and do some journaling and things. And then I start my day at 9:00. So for example, it would be 9:00 to 10:00 is emails, 10:00 to 11:00 is packing orders. And like I give every hour of my day its own task to make sure I fit everything in. And then I keep my calendar open on my computer so I can like keep track of where I'm at. And I've been doing it that way for a couple of weeks, and that's been really, really helpful. But like I said, every day it's so hard because things pop up, and like if a client needs to change their session time or something like that, that can affect like the day. So I kind of just run with the days, but I like to have a rough plan of what I'm going to do. And then I use Asana, which is a website, and I have to-do lists for each business, and then I have a to-do list for the family. So yeah, so it's not a to-do list that I kind of look at every single day. It's kind of like a monthly to-do list. Like these are the things I have to do each month. So for example, I have to do my accounting every month. Like that's a non-negotiable. I have to do that. So that's on my to-do list, but I don't actually schedule that into any of my days. I just kind of put that as an admin task for whenever I get the time in my admin blocks, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like, I guess at the start of every month, you do like a reflection or like accounting from the previous month and anything like life admin that you have to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So I find it's really helpful to have like an overall to-do list instead of kind of like a daily to-do list when there's so many different things happening. And, you know, if kids are sick and they can't go to daycare, or like I said, a session like needs to be rescheduled or whatever, it just allows for that flexibility, which is really, really important for me and like my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And you schedule clients just on that Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on like the availabilities, like every week's sort of similar or different depending on their availability. Yeah.
So each week's different. So I just have the calendar open for the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on that Monday at the beginning of the week, I'll schedule around whatever sessions I have during the week. So that way my clients can book whenever suits them, and then I will do my other work around what's going to suit me.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. What do you do to set goals? What is it that you like? Do you have like a sort of monthly or quarterly way that you set your goals for your business or for yourself?
Yeah, so I actually do quarterly. So I actually have like a template that I use and I fill out at the beginning of each month. And I break it down into categories. So I've got like my exact ones are Bras by Yes and Mindful Soul Collective, like my two businesses. I do them separately. And then I've got health and wellness. I've got mental health and personal growth. And then I've got my relationship with my partner. And then I've got my parenting. So I kind of do set my goals for them. So I kind of write like, what do I want to do for each, like what do I want to improve on in the next 3 months for each of those categories? What do I want to let go of for each of those categories? And then ideas on how I can reach those goals. And then at the end of the quarter, I actually revisit them and I write what I think went well, what I could have improved on. And then I rewrite them. Like I redo the exercise again for the following quarter. So I like always reflect as well. And it's so funny because I actually looked at mine yesterday. Like it's not the end of the quarter yet, but I had a look at mine yesterday that I wrote in January and I've already achieved like nearly all of them, not all of them, but nearly all of them. So it's such a fun exercise to do it that way. And yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And I love goal setting as well. And looking back, even just like little peaking, you're like, oh my gosh, I've already achieved that like little tiny milestone. And just like celebrating yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, I did not think that was possible. But you just done it so subconsciously. And you're like, wow, you really can do anything you set your mind to. And that's amazing. And I love hearing that you've achieved so much already. And it's literally March.
Yeah.
I also really want to chat about your following on Instagram because that is just crazy, like 20,000 plus followers now. How did you sort of grow that community or that audience? Was it just through, I guess, both your businesses and just being active on social media all of the time, or?
Yeah. So I've always been really consistent. Like I always post at least once a day. I'm not really that consistent with my stories, I'll be honest, but that's because I'm actually not logged into my work accounts on my phone, which is a little tip I might pop in here. I've got an iPad, so I'm always logged into both business accounts on my iPad, but I don't have it on my phone because when I'm at the park with my kids or I'm on a date night or something like that, I don't want to have the ability to be able to just quickly check like if anyone's commented on my work post or anything like that. Like I really would try and be as present as I can. So when I'm at home, I always have my iPad, of course, because I'm here or like in my office working or whatever it is. But yeah, I never have it on my phone. So it makes it a bit hard to do stories.
Yeah.
So I'll admit I'm not very good with my stories because I'm never actually logged in on my phone. But I always do the daily post and I've just gotten into reels. I've been a bit hesitant like resistant to that, I'll be honest, because I'm not like a big video person.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I like to write, like I like to type and like write rather than get on a video and chat, or even podcasts. I much prefer doing podcasts. I don't know what it is. It's like I don't want people to see me or something. But when I first started, and even now, I'm really big on engaging. So like I write back to all messages that I get and all comments that I get. I literally reply to every single one of them, and I do that myself still. So and I also like to go in on hashtags and like locations and things, and I like to engage with other people too. And I think that's what really built things. It was a lot easier when I began, which was like it was only 2 years ago, but when I was engaging with other accounts, people like really engaged back, and then like I've made friendships and things through that. But it seems to be a little bit trickier now, so I don't know if that's like an algorithm thing, but like I've really built it up. Those first 12 months were like catapulting, and then things kind of dropped off. When I had my second baby last year, I had a little bit of time away from my account because I just really wanted to kind of settle in with him, and our family going from 3 to 4 was obviously a big adjustment. And then I think that kind of affected my account, and I think I'm still trying to make it back from that. Like back then I was getting seen, like my reach was probably like 5,000 or 6,000 for every single post, and it's dropped down a bit now because I had so long off, which is frustrating, but I'm hoping to get back to it again. And it's not like, for me, it's not about the numbers, but because I put so much of my heart and things into my posts, and I know that they do help people. Like I want people to be able to see it because it's going to help them. Like it's not like because I don't sit here and I'm not like, oh my God, I want 500 likes. Like it's not about that. I'm like, oh, I would love if 5,000 people seen this post, because it could really change 5,000 people's lives.
Wow, that's amazing, and such a way to grow so quickly, especially in 12 months. Like that's really short to grow such an amazing following. And I guess too, like how do you sort of have like a community now that you engage with through like posting all of the time? Is there certain people that react to it more than others?
Like not a certain type of person. Like there's not like an ideal person that does it, but I do have like a few, like I guess you'd call them like loyal followers, and they are always like sharing my posts and things. And that's actually another big thing. I've had a few really big pages share in those first 12 months, like share quite a few of my posts. So I think that was another big thing, that I think it's called like my self-love supply, I think that's what they called, and they've got like nearly 3 million followers. And when they shared one of my posts, like they reposted it and tagged me in it, which was really cool. I got like 1,000 followers just from that one share. So I had that happen a few times with a few different accounts, like right at the beginning, but hasn't happened again recently, unfortunately. But that's okay.
Wow, that's amazing. And like props to you too for like actually putting yourself out there. And random question, you don't have TikTok yet or anything? Because that's really blown up in terms of social media.
Yeah, so I like made the account and I've put a few things on there, but I'm just like, I don't know, I'm still a bit hesitant. So when I feel like I found a sneaky way to do reels is like I put my words into like video format, so it's not like me talking or like I'm actually not in it, so it's kind of like a typewriter typing what I want it to say. So that's how I've been doing my reels on Instagram mostly, and I've popped a few of them on a TikTok account, like it's the same username, but nothing's really taken off yet. And I don't know, I don't think I'm old or anything, but I feel like I'm like just so hesitant to it for some reason. But everyone tells me that, so I'm like, I need to step it up.
Yeah.
I also don't know if it's like another thing, like maybe like it's just another thing for me to have to do. So I don't know if that's why I'm so hesitant to it. But I have heard a lot of people say that, and I'm actually not personally on TikTok. I don't watch TikTok. That might be another reason I'm a little bit unsure about doing it. I'm scared to get addicted.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat too, because I created an account and I've posted a couple of things, but I can't say like I'm hooked on it. I'm more like still very Instagram I guess, as like my preferred platform. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received that you could share with us all today?
Yeah. Oh, such a good question, because I feel like I've got so many things I could say. One thing my mum told me, so this was actually after my first baby was born, and I really wanted to, I think he was only about, he might have been 3 or 4 months old, like he was still quite young, and I really wanted to go and to a festival for a couple of hours. So there was a festival in Newcastle, and I felt really, really guilty about going, because, you know, I felt like I should have stayed at home, I should stay at home with my son and stuff. And she said to me, and like I apply this to everything in my life now, not just like parenting and being a mum, but she said that I need to take care of myself before I can take care of anybody else. So I really like live by that now. So like every single day I'm like, okay, before I can take care of my clients and support my clients, I need to take care of myself. And then I think that like with my businesses and with my partner, like literally everybody, I'm like, I am my priority, number one. And it sounds funny to say that, because of course my children are so important, but I can't be the best mum that I want to be if I don't put myself first. Like if I don't take care of myself first and give me what I need, I can't be the mum or the partner or the friend or like business owner or counselor or any of those things. Like I can't be the best version of myself if I don't take care of myself first. So that was a little bit rambly, but I hope I got there in the end.
Yeah. Oh, that is just so powerful. That is so powerful. Looking after yourself as your like number one priority is something that people, like, especially as a mum, you could be so guilty of not putting your kids first, but at the same time too, like you said, putting yourself first to be the best mum you can, to be an amazing parent and a role model for them to look up to. So that's such an amazing piece of advice. And do you have any others? I'm so curious to hear. I love advice.
Yeah. So this is a bit more of a quote. So I actually have this tattooed on me as well, is what is coming is better than what is gone. So I actually got that tattoo when I broke up with a partner, like when I would have been 18, I think. And I got that tattoo, and it still like relates to everything. Like if you have a bad day, it's okay, because what's coming is better than like what's gone. And even if you have a beautiful day, you know, there's still things in the future to look forward to. So I really like that as well.
Yeah, that is beautiful, and such a good way for reflecting, especially if you've had a bad day or if you've had a good day. Like there's always something better out there, and there's always going to be a better day. So that's such a amazing thing to keep at the back of your mind as well, if there is anything that you're going through. And especially even like that actually made me think of like manifesting as well. Like say if you actually manifested something, or you are manifesting something and it didn't happen, knowing that it wasn't meant for you and there's something better out there. So I love that.
Yes. Yeah, I love that too. Whenever I try and manifest something, I always say this or something better. And then like I don't get what I wanted, and I'm like, God damn it. But then like I get the better thing, and I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, it all works out. It all works itself out for a reason. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today, Shorina. It has been such a pleasure talking to you and discussing all of your businesses, all about yourself and the journey that you've been through. So thank you so much for sharing. And I cannot wait for everyone to listen to this episode. But before we wrap up, just share your social media handles so everyone can get in contact with you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me too. I have loved it. I always love being a guest. So my lingerie business is Bras by S, and I'm on everything like Facebook and Instagram. I am on TikTok for that too, but like I said, I'm a little hesitant, but if you want to follow me, maybe it would inspire me. And then my counseling business is Mindful Soul Collective. And again, like Instagram, Facebook, I am on TikTok, but yeah, still trying to get into that. And then you can, if you were wanting to work with me, you can go through my Instagram, I've got my link there, and you can book sessions or book a call and all that sort of stuff.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.